Northampton Borough Council first violated the Equality Act 2010, in my case, a year after it was enacted. This was at a meeting held on the 11th of January, where I was verbally abused and threatened by a character known as Nicky McKenzie. McKenzie is now the Housing Choice and Resettlement Team Leader, a position of authority for which such a character is entirely ill-fitted. McKenzie is one of the most vile, abusive and blatantly vicious characters I've ever had to deal with. The Equality Act 2010 mandates that reasonable adjustments be made for disabled people, in addition to explicitly prohibiting direct discrimination. Obviously, a visually impaired person living alone, with no support or assistance, is not in a position to maintain a large overgrown garden. I have no power tools, and it would probably be considered unacceptable and unsafe for me to even attempt to use them if I did. Anyone with even the most basic sense of responsibility towards people in their care would accept this simple fact and move that disabled person from a grossly unsuitable property in which they had been left by the death of their father to a suitable property which they would be able to manage. McKenzie actually told me that the answer to a visually impaired person having a large garden which they were unable to manage was for me to pull a tree which is taller than I am, plus brambles and nettles, out of the ground with my bare hands. Yes, that was Northampton Borough Council's idea of reasonable adjustments for a disabled person. They could just as easily have taken their responsibilities under the Act seriously and made an immediate direct offer of a suitable accommodation, freeing up the property, which was and still is entirely unsuitable for a disabled person, for someone for whom it would be suitable. Instead, McKenzie decided that it was much better business to harass, threaten and abuse a disabled person with the intention of driving that person to suicide or to just walking out into the streets to die. This is what the council wants, and it has now kept up this campaign of harassment and abuse for 7 years. Somehow I've managed to survive, and I'm going to do everything I can to fight back and to fight for the rights of disabled people to be treated like human beings and to be able to live with some degree of dignity. More to come.